Instead of me trying to do it here by hand, I'm just going to start dialing it in a bit. So I'm going to go 99. Up. I'm going to non-uniform scale, so I don't scale in all dimensions at the same time in the X, Y, and Z. I can control which one I want to scale in. And I can see I want to scale in the Y here. So I want to bring the Y back a little bit. The X, my apologies, not the Y, the X I think I want. Undo. Gotta make sure I'm in the right scaling mode. Alright. That should be fine. If you notice here that these stained glass windows don't actually come all the way to the ground, we'll fix that up now. So again, I don't want to scale the door in to fit the frame because it's going to squash my it's going to start looking like my door has been squashed. So instead of doing that, I'm going to move the frame. I'm going to do that just by selecting the one of the first edges of the frame here and moving it over. Like that. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I know that the frame's disappearing. That's because of the stained glass. We'll fix that in a minute. Did you see the stained glass is actually not sitting in the center of the frame? It really probably should be so. Let's have a look at that. So before we actually move the stained glass into the middle of the frame, I have a bad habit of doing that. Instead of being in my perspective viewport of rotating in one of my orthographics, you shouldn't do that. So I'm just going to make sure I go back to one of our viewports here. I'm going to go into vertex mode. I'm going to move these edges of this stained glass in. Until we see our frame again there. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I'm not concerned with the stained glass texture being squashed a little. I think it looks better if it was longer as opposed to broader. So that's not a problem. But I do want to move the stained glass into the center of the door frame. And I'll do that, I think, in the perspective viewport here. It'll be easier. Now we're going to have to... Okay, let's see what's going on. Instead of moving it back, I have to move it forward. Which means I have to move these two wooden slats that run across the front forward as well. Either that or make them slightly bigger. Let's see. Let's try scaling them out.
Clear my mind, close my eyes, where am I? Bumpy right, looking out across the sky. As the wind blows in my face, there is water, water everywhere. How did I get here? Who is that man over there? My mind is blinded, this all just a dream. Sails and rudder on the ship, rum and beer, I'll take a drink, and tomorrow I won't remember things. Sails and rudder on the ship, rum and beer, I'll take a drink, and tomorrow I will.
I'm going to go into wireframe mode here just for a second. I'll go back to shaded. I'm actually, instead of scaling the wooden planks here in the middle out, I'm going to work with the stained glass itself. So I have a feeling that they're quite thick, those stained glass pieces. So I'm going to isolate my selection. Yeah, they're too thick really, so I'm going to scale them in. So they're a bit thinner, more like glass really. Okay, let's exit isolation mode again. Oh, that's better. I didn't want them covering the front of these pieces that run across the center, and that was happening because the stained glass was too thick. So that's allowed us to keep our door looking correct without scaling it in too much. We just moved the stained glass out slightly and scaled it in, but that's okay because it suits the look of the stained glass. You're going to notice it less here than you will on the door, trying to scale the door in. Squash the door in, I should say. Now the colours are all incorrect because this door, I've either got to decide whether I want to keep a this darker green or this blue green or the green green. Change one or the other to match. But I think I prefer, let's just get rid of this one here because we don't need it now. And line our doors up so that we can see them a little bit better. I'm just going to group this one again. So we're going to move that one there, that one there, and have a look at these doors, the three of them together. And see which one I like the look of better. Let's deselect it. So we have our original door here, we have the old door, and then we have the amalgamation of both the doors. I think I think I like the color, that more of a blue-green color of the door. So I think what I'll end up doing is I'll change the texture here of the door frame, the old door frame, to match that bluey green, take out some of the green. I just think that of the 3 doors, I like this one better because, like I said, I like the stained glass in the middle of the door here, but I like the original stained glass of these doors. So combining the two together, I was just concerned that that stained glass in the middle of the door might look out of place with this stained glass, but I don't think it does. Particularly when I change the colour of the frame to match the door. I think it should be alright. Let's do that quickly in Photoshop, I think. So what I'm going to do, I can't exactly remember what the actual name of that that texture is called. So I'm going to go into isolation mode again. I'm going to open up the group. I'm going to throw an unwrap UVW on and open the editor. I'm not doing any UVW mapping. I'm just not sure what the texture is, so this will tell me pretty quickly. The texture is called LED light door. Alright. So we can get rid of that unwrap UVW now and close our group and exit our isolation. And now I'm just going to quickly jump into Photoshop. I'm just going to change my layout here so that you can see what I'm doing. Let's open up that LED light door texture that the frame is using. This was the old one. I'm going to open the old one so I can get a comparison for color. But I'm looking actually for the new one. This is the new one. I'm looking for the old one. And that's probably going to be... no. I've just got to remember where I placed that old texture now. Let's see if it's this one. No, it's still a new one. It is here somewhere. It's just because it's 6 years ago I worked on that door, it's hard for me to remember exactly where I put it. No, it's still a new one. I don't think it's going to be in the cornucopia, no. Alright, there's another way we can find it, and that's jumping into Max. Jumping into our material editor. And doing a selection here. Okay, it's this one here. And that is in, I would never have found it. WIP new folder, LED light door text, okay. Folders everywhere, I'm afraid, on my hard drive. So E, WIP, new folder. It should be in here. LED light door text. Should be this one. And it is. Hallelujah. Alright, now I'm going to arrange my windows here so I can see them both together. My goal here is to change this texture, the green of this texture, to match the green of this texture. So just always work with make a duplicate of your original so you don't, if you ever want to go back you can, don't work with the original. I'm just going to turn the original off. I'm going to do an adjustment and do a color adjustment. I'm going to start playing with my color adjustments here to get a match between those two. Now I know I'm going to need more blue. And remember, with color adjustments you've got 3 selections: mid-tone, highlight and shadows. Let's go with the shadows. Got to be careful, it's really sensitive though. You go too far too quickly, you can mess it up a bit. Let's work on a highlight here. Back to the mid-tone again. Back to the shadows. Back to mid-tone. Let's do levels as well. Now remember, what I'm trying to do here is change the frame to better match this frame. I'm going to do another duplicate of the one underneath of it, the original. I'm going to do another adjustment of color balance. Make one more duplicate of that first one that I created, just in case I want to go back to it. I'm going to use my eraser brush here with quite a large brush. I just want to take some of the blue out from the color corrected one, bring back a bit more of the green. Okay, let's save that out. Somewhere where I can find it this time. So we'll work in our models portfolio. Art Deco red brick. Actually, let's not go there. Let's work in our no. We will go back to our models portfolio. I'm going to put it in the root of that directory. I'm going to call this one lead light door corrected. It saved it as a PSD. I'm actually going to save that again and change the file format. I'm going to change it to a JPEG. Maximum quality though. Let's jump back into Max. Let's swap this texture out for that color corrector bomb I just did. Now I know we've got textures everywhere, and we can use Max to fix that by grabbing all of our textures in all of our folders throughout our hard drive and putting them all together into one, which we may end up doing, because it'll make our life much easier. We want this one here. Now, I'm noticing it's too dark. The frame is too dark. I can either darken up the door or darken up the frame. I think I might darken up the door. So back to Photoshop. We have our door here already, so let's do a levels on it. I think the original texture was a bit too light anyway. Again, I'm going to save this out as a corrected version. I'm going to call this one, I'll call it Deco door. Corrected. Again, I'll save it as a JPEG. Back into Max, back into my material editor. Again, I want to look for that door texture. Which is this one here. I'm going to swap that out for the new door texture we just color corrected darker. I have a feeling these textures actually have highlights on them, so I'm just going to check that. That's what's making it hard to see when we do a rotation in the viewport. That one's okay. This one, this one has specularity at 100%. That's too high. We're going to turn that back to 0. We'll do our spec maps and stuff in Unreal. I don't want it affecting the texture in Max. Just going to do a bit more color correction on the door. So back to Photoshop. Back to that door texture here. Again, I'm going to jump into my levels and bring it up just a little bit. Again, I'm going to make a duplicate of my original. I'm going to do a color correction again. I'm going to pull in a bit more yellow. Let's save that out. And again, we'll save it as a JPEG. This one here. Yes, we want to overwrite. Okay, let's jump back into Max. Alright. Better, I think. Let me remove this door and replace it with the other one. Again, we're going to move our pivot point to the center of the object. Let's move that one out of the way. Stained glass as well. I want to move that out of the way. And let's move this one back into that gap that it left. I'm wondering why it's so dark in there. Anyway, let's move it in and have a look.
I wanna go to a place where I can feel the rain again. I wanna reach.
Let's scale it down to fit that door cavity.
Where I can soar across the sky. And so my feet start to tremble, they lift off the ground. I leave it all behind, and I can see the horizon, it's calling my name. I leave it all behind. I'll rise up.
We're going to have something over the top of the door here, so that's I'm just want to get the size correct for that spot in the building itself.
I wanna fly through the night and feel what I used to be. I wanna run away where I can soar across the sky.
I think the door frame is a bit dark, so I'm going to jump back into Photoshop and it's not that dark though, so maybe it's a lighting problem in Max. Yeah, it is. It's just a shadow that's throwing on it. Alright. Let's get these doors out of the way. I'm going to delete this one. I'm going to delete that one. I won't delete this one. This is our original. I'm just going to move that off to the side though and get rid of that. I just want to have a look at this door. I think I prefer that to the original that we had before with the two stained glass pieces that were similar to the middle of the door. I think that just looks, it suits the building a little bit better. I'll keep this door the same to make them look like they're part of the same set of doors, which it would be if it was part of the one building. But I just, yeah, I like this stained glass and I like that door. I just didn't like the originals and I didn't like the old door. Yeah, so that's the new version of the door. That's the old version of the door. I mean, don't get me wrong, the old one was okay, the stained glass is alright. I mean, you guys may think differently to me and think the old one looked better. I don't know, I prefer the stained glass of this door. Just think it gives it a bit more character, as opposed to having that same stained glass on either side.
Synthesizer quickly enough. A computer can take over much of this control work and do it more quickly and accurately.
So, personally, I prefer this door. You guys can let me know if you think that this door looked better. So that one, the original, and then the combination of the old and the new. So what I'll end up doing though is changing, and we could actually use both, you know. We could use the new one we just created for the side doors. We can keep this old one for the front doors and the back door. But the two side doors here we can change to this newer version and just keep the old version for the front. Or we can change them all to be the same. We'll have a think about that when we bring it into Unreal, and we can move it around and have a look at it and see which one looks better. Okay, let's grab this door and move it out into our line here so that we have it ready to go. Now I have a feeling that, I don't think Epic have changed this yet, but when you used to export assets to bring them into the Unreal Engine, the pivot point would move because the Unreal Engine doesn't respect a local pivot point like here on that door. And what it does is it moves the pivot point to the 0, 0, 0 world coordinate. And I have a feeling it's still the same. I don't think they ever changed that, which will mean when we go to export our assets, if we want to keep our pivot in the center of the object, we're going to have to move it to the 0, 0, 0 position before we export it with using FEX. Because otherwise, when we bring it in, our pivot's going to be at 0, 0, 0, but our object's going to be way off. So it'll make moving it around really hard. I have a feeling the Unreal Engine is still the same. I don't think they've changed that at all. Let me just rotate this door around.
Travel through the mountains, walking through this wasteland.
And just in case we do want to keep the old door, let's smooth that out as well.
Holding on to what I am.
I'll move a copy of it out anyway. I do want to thank Paladin Drone Dev for for following my Twitch channel. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Let's pop that in line here. So we've got our old door, our original door, and then that combination that we just created. Like I said, I think we might use the combination for the side doors and keep the original door for the front and the back door. Might help to give it a bit more interest in the building anyway. But when we put the building together in Unreal, we can play with it then and see which one we think looks better. Done it. Back top, but that's okay. I was going to say I've moved my perspective in one of my orthographics again, but no, I didn't. Okay. Alright, I'm going to delete this door here. I don't want that one anymore. I'm going to save my file because we don't want to lose the work we've just done. Now, we may leave it there for today, guys. There's a few things we still have to do. I want to regrow that ivy because I really don't like this ivy. This was the original ivy, and I'm going to regrow the ivy, I think. So we'll tackle that tomorrow because I'll be back on again at 5 PM tomorrow. So I think tomorrow we'll tackle regrowing the IB. There are a few other bits and pieces that we need to pull out of the model before we can start exporting pieces and bringing it into the Unreal Engine. And we probably will end up laying our model out as well. Like I'll pull the building apart. I'll take the interior pieces out, the floor pieces and the wall pieces, so that they're easy for us to select when we do an export. Yeah, we'll see how we go with that. But I think we will leave it there for today, guys. I do want to thank you guys very much for hanging out with me and for watching. I do appreciate it. I will be back on again tomorrow at 5 PM Pacific time in the US. If you're not sure when I'm live, you can keep an eye on my Twitter page at PhilDoes3D. I always post 15 minutes before I go live to my Twitter page. Like I said though, I'll be back on again tomorrow. If you're not sure where I'm going to be, I'm streaming under game development at the moment because we're going to be taking this model into the Unreal Engine 4.15 once we've finished setting up our assets here. You do know that I do want to update a couple of the assets because they're old. They were created 6 years ago and we can make them look a bit better. So we'll be doing that at some stage before we bring it into the Unreal Engine. Like I said, I'm streaming under game development at the moment. If you're not sure where I'm going to be, then you can follow my Twitch page and that'll tell you when I'm online. Or follow me on Twitter and find out, because I always post before I go live. I will be back on again tomorrow. Thank you very much guys for hanging out and for watching. I'll be back on at 5 PM tomorrow and we'll continue on doing this Art Deco building for the Unreal Engine. Thanks again guys for watching, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. See ya.